All right, looks like everybody has settled down into a position that they feel comfortable holding for the duration of the meditation. And if at any point you do feel, some unmanageable discomfort, feel free to adjust as needed. But I think we'll start just with some progressive relaxation, just to settle into the space and attune to the field of sensation making up the body. So you can do this eyes open or closed as you like. We'll just start up at the crown of the head, just resting attention at the uppermost portion of whatever you can feel up there. And then you can slowly, as though there's a kind of flat plane of attention, just sweep downwards, passing, kind of a cross-section, passing down through the body, passing the eyes, through the nose, past the chin, down through the neck. And if your attention wanders, or you just bring it back to where you stopped in the sweep and just continue moving downwards. Down through the shoulders, pectorals, rib cage, down into the abdomen. Just sweeping through the whole trunk. Down into the pelvis. Down into the legs. And then making contact, whether you're lying down or sitting up, with where the sensations of resistance that imply that you're on some ground here. And just as an option, you could imaginatively extend the sweep down below that. And then wherever your attention has landed, you can drop all of that and rest in whatever comes up. And if you notice your attention latching or landing on any sensation, any mental image or internal verbalization or anything at all, you just notice, and like realizing that you're clenching a fist, just relax back and open. All right, that'll be our warm-up. Now we can all open our eyes, if they aren't open already. And I want everyone we're going to attune to the visual field. You can use your hands if you find it helpful You can place your 2 fingers directly in front of you. And you can pitch your gaze downwards or upwards or straight ahead. It doesn't matter for this exercise. And this is called spreading out the vision. It's just a hack to point out opening the aperture of your awareness. Just bring them out horizontally and keep track simultaneously of each of your fingers in the visual field. And you want to bring them all the way out until they disappear. And right at that point where they disappear, that vanishing point, that's how wide your attention can be. Not focusing on any portion within the field, but just open to the vanishing point. And anytime you notice a refocusing on any portion, you just bring your fingers back out to the vanishing point, and you open, and you don't do anything else, you just rest in that open field of vision, of sound. Sensations of the body, free to arise, they're included. Not rejecting anything arising, not pushing anything away, but not lashing on anywhere. And if you feel you have some kind of stability or fluency with the mental move you're making to let go and open, then you can drop the hands. But if you find it useful, you can put them back up or return to that. And so for the next few minutes, we'll just practice with this, noticing whenever there's a latching or a focal emphasis within the visual field or within the field of sensation of making up the body or within the expanse in which sound arises. If there's any latching, you just notice and you let go and rest in the open field of what arises. And if a thought comes up, am I getting it? Am I doing this right? Am I seeing it? You don't have to latch there either. It's a cliche, but it happens to be true. Like passing clouds. You can let them dissolve. You don't have to push them away. You don't have to hang on to them. Okay, good. Now we're going to introduce another element in this open field, and same as before, if you notice any latching at any point within the body, mind, or external field, any focal emphasis, you can just open and rest. But we're going to add an element of investigation. So the next time your attention seems to land somewhere, if there was any movement towards the sound or any reaction to it, what I'm going to invite you to do is, rather than follow that movement outwards, you can turn back to the apparent origin of that movement. You can imagine kind of a wave traveling out. If you're like most people, perhaps it's behind your eyes. Something that seems to be reaching out and moving towards the sensation or the sight or the body sensation. But the move is to reverse the current, turn back to the apparent origin in your phenomenal space of that attentional wave. Not seeking for anything in particular, just reversing that motion and then resting until there's again that movement outwards and just turning back. So it might be a sound, might be a sensation in the body. But whenever there's that movement to meet something outside, turn back to where that movement seems to arise from and rest. Not trying to make anything happen, not looking for anything, just reversing direction and resting in whatever that opens. Introducing a classic metaphor, the mind is like a clear and brilliant mirror. and all the images, the sights, sounds, sensations are passing reflections on the surface of that mirror. The mirror doesn't have to reach out to meet the reflections. The reflections arise as the surface of the mirror. And like any metaphor, this is necessarily a little misleading, but it's a pretty good metaphor. There's no need to reach out. No need to cultivate anything. In Zen, it might be called turning the light around, taking the backward step. Finding out what it is that drags this corpse around. Like sunlight passing through empty space. Not landing on anything at all. Anytime it lands, whatever it is, anytime it localizes in response to something arising, you can open, you can turn back, and rest. appearing yet empty, like a rainbow, morning mist, a clap of thunder. And in the last few minutes, as you open, letting go of any latching, fixation, turning back to the origin of what appears to be your attention. What is this? And don't attempt to model, don't attempt to explain. Don't fixate, don't define, don't land. But what is this? As the sound of the bell rings in empty space, you can let everything subside into what remains when the sound disappears. And that is where we will conclude. Though as we return to a more normal way of interacting and engaging with our senses, if you want, you can just keep up that inquiry. What what the fuck is this? What's going on here? And whenever you land or fixate, or let that be a question. Don't decide too quickly. I hope that was enjoyable, or at least interesting.